Hi guys, welcome back. I am going to talk today about something I get a question about a lot of times. So whether it's friends of mine who ask me or even parents that I work with, I always get the question of like, how do you get your kids to love to read? And this is an interesting question because while I hear what they're asking me, I also am hearing what they're not asking me, which is how I force my kids to read their books, right? So I want to address that today. So the first thing is that the very first thing is to make books available. So you can't have your children fall in love with something they can't get access to. So even if it is going to the library and getting books to bring into the home so that they are available, but also not just having the physical books in your possession, but also having it at a level where they can access it without your help. So not having to go to the room and ask you to get it off of a bookshelf. And sometimes parents have their room set up so cute for their kids, but the books are on top of their dresser and the kid can't get to the books without the help of their parent. So having some books just lined up on the floor, having it on a bookshelf where the kid can actually walk up to it and access it very easily. Those are the type of things you want to make sure that you have in place. First of all, just having books around and having it easily available for the child. The next thing is to be able to talk to the kids about books and make them excited about it. So having the trips to the library are really good tactics because you can, get excited about the trip to the library and talk to the kid about what section are you going to go into, what kind of books are you going to look for, and kind of create some anticipation towards going to the library. And then at the library, looking for those books. Now, I will warn you that you can sometimes get your child so excited about going to the library and looking for a specific type of book, and then you go to the library and that book is checked out, or they don't have that book at that specific branch. So that is another opportunity to talk to your child about adapting and dealing with disappointments. And so trying to make sure that you already front load them with, hey, we're excited about, let's say for example, your child is really into PJ Masks and they're so excited about going to the library to get a book about PJ Masks, but when they get there it's not in stock, they don't have it in the library or not at that branch. You can talk to them about, hey, well, what else can we look for before you even go to the library? So we want PJ Masks books, what else do we want? And then kind of have second and third choices so that the child can have something else to look forward to if in case their book is not there. Another thing is to share books from your childhood. So if you remember reading a book that you loved as a kid or you got excited about as a kid, bringing that book into your child's world is really great. It helps because your child will see your excitement and they will see how this book moves you, and they will feel that way towards the book because they feel that way towards you. They're connected to you emotionally. And so it's really good because you get to pass on this love for this specific book or the specific topic or whatever it is that you have from your childhood. You're passing it on to them. And it's a really beautiful moment. Another thing is to make it pleasurable, meaning that you want this child to associate pleasurable feelings with reading. So being in your lap or snuggling up close when you are reading to them really helps their brain make this association to this activity being something that is good and warm and it's awesome. And so you want to make it pleasurable for them. So you want to get books that they're interested in. You want to make sure that you are in a good space, and so you are not like angry reading the book, but you are in a good mood and you're sitting down and you're enjoying it all together, so that they connect that to the activity of reading. Another thing is you have to model it. So you have to show kids that you love reading. It's okay to go ahead and pull out a book every now and then and let your kids just see you reading. So not like, hey, look at me, I'm reading right now. You don't want to do that. But you're like showing them that, hey, I am reading just by doing so. So a lot of us have the opportunity to read books or read magazines on electronic devices, but I would discourage you from that because the child doesn't know when you're reading or when you're just scrolling through social media or doing some other time waster. So kids will think, hey, you're on your phone, you're playing that game that you showed me the last time you were on your phone. They don't think, hey, he might be reading a great, thought-provoking article, or she might be reading a world-renowned book. No, they don't think that, okay? And so to differentiate that, to show them that you're doing something different, get a hard copy book and read in front of your kids. You have to model it. You have to show them that this is happening. You have to model it. Another tip is to prove its importance. So you have to walk around life and show your kids where reading is important. So walking up to the store and saying, hey, what does that say? Even before a child knows how to read, just pointing out the letters that they are learning. So, hey, do you see that A on that sign? I wonder what that sign says. Let's move closer. Let's read it. And then point to the words and read to them in front of the sign so they can see, hey, reading is something that I use in my daily life. When you go into the store and you see the signs on the items that are for sale, pointing that out to say, hey, look at this. It says something about a sale. Let's read about it. Let's see how we can use this great skill of reading in our daily life, and why is it something of worth. Walking around the stores, when you're driving in the car, pointing things out, like, look at that freeway sign. You see what it says up there? It says, and then you read the sign so that they're able to understand that, hey, reading is something important and we use it every day. The next thing is to give your kids the proper tools. It is not fun to have to do something that you struggle at every day for long periods of time. Reading can only be enjoyable when the child is equipped to read. So if your child is struggling to read, making them to struggle through it and read more isn't the best way to teach them to love to read. So we have to make sure that they have the proper skill set. You have to make sure that they actually know what they're doing. And so therefore it becomes enjoyable because it is not so hard to work through it. So there are many tools that you can use to help support your child's reading. I love to give you that information. So if you do need that information, just drop a message and I'll send that to you. But those things are really important to make sure that our kids have the skill set that they need in order to do the things that we want them to do successfully. The next thing is to follow their interests. So whatever your kid is interested in, there's a book on it. There is a book with that main character. There's a book that has it as a background role, as the main idea. There are different books about everything. So whatever your kid is interested in, I would encourage you to go and follow that interest. Get all the books that you can in regards to that interest. So if your kid is into sports, going into the library and getting that, or ordering the books online if you would like to buy them. But you could also go to the library and be able to get as many books as you want to, and be able to keep cycling in new books without that added expense. So I would encourage you to find out what your kid is interested in. Go online to look up the library that you're nearest to and be able to look at their catalog online to see what books align with that. You can even call before you go to the library and ask the librarian for help with things like that, but they're able to do that and find those books that your child is interested in. When they're already interested in the topic, it takes off the heavy lifting of trying to get them to buy in. When they are into, let's say for example, Moana, you can go and get the Moana books and you're able to say, let's read about Moana. Oh my gosh, look, Moana has on the same skirt she did in the movie. Or you try to make those parallels so that they are now interested in reading the book. Another tactic is you have to perform. So now listen, okay? You have to draw on your inner actress, inner actor, and you have to become these characters. Make reading fun. Do different voices for different characters. It makes it more interesting for the child, and it helps them differentiate who's talking, because we oftentimes in reading will say the statement and then we'll say she said, or like Sarah said, or something like that afterwards. So the child doesn't know when you're saying the statement who exactly is saying it unless you're differentiating with the voices. Then they can follow along and really understand and grasp the story. So please get into that. It feels silly at first. You might even laugh in the middle of it, but it's enjoyable. And that also goes back to the point of making it pleasurable. If you're enjoying it and you're having fun, your child's gonna enjoy it and have fun too. And the last thing I'll say is just do it. Read. read and read and read and read and read, and put it into the schedule. So it's not just like when we get time, we'll do it. No, read a book or 2, or in my case 5 before bedtime, because the kids keep adding books as they want to keep staying up, really. But because I'm okay with them staying up to read, we will do that. But set the time aside. Maybe it's right after school, maybe it's in the morning, maybe it is right before bed, but have it somewhere regularly in the schedule that you're reading to your children, so that they understand that this is important to you as well. Me letting them sacrifice a little bit of sleep time to read tells my kids that I value reading, and they know that. And the fact that I will go out and get as many books as possible from the library, they know that I value reading. They know that I value them learning how to read. And so it's an investment of my time, it's an investment of money sometimes, it's an investment of effort going out and getting these books, but I'm showing them through my actions that I value it. And because I value it, I hope that they will value it. So I hope these tips helped. I hope that you'll use them. I hope that you'll put them into practice, because I believe that falling in love with reading is a great gift, because whenever you are able to pick up a book and dive into that story, it is sometimes the best way to escape the things that you're dealing with, especially if you're stressed out and you're able to pick up a book. But it also is an ability to learn and teach yourself things that maybe you would never experience or learn if you didn't have the opportunity to read about it. So happy reading. I hope that you enjoyed this, and see you on the next video. Bye.